Okay, I'm just gonna wait a second here to see if my live pops up. Hey, there it is. All right, start some background music here. All right, I'm Brian at Jickoby, and I'm going live because I need to do some catch up on our Mapvember challenge. Hopefully this background music isn't too loud. It's a little bit loud in my ears, but that's how it goes. So let's see, our Mapvember challenge here. So this, again, if you saw my earlier video, this is a challenge that is hosted by roleplayingtips.com. So this is the list of 30 maps that we're intended to create throughout the month of November. Each day we have a one-word prompt to kind of help inspire us to create a new map. Today is the 9th, and I'm just getting started, so we're going to start out with item number 1 on this list, archive. So, hide this little window doodly-doo here. I've got my dungeon draft open here, and I'm going to load some assets from 2 Minute Tabletop. I'm not going to load all of them because that's a lot of assets, and it's going to take up a little too much time and resources. Oh, there we go. Now you can actually see what I'm looking at. Right, I'm just going to go through here. I'm probably going to use Castle Furniture. Might have some stuff that we want. What else? What else? We want to find, so we're making an archive, so this is going to be kind of a library sort of setting. So Fallen Star Pack is probably not where we want to go, but that's an interesting one. 2 Minute Tabletop has a lot of really fun and interesting maps that they create. Here we go, furniture map. That's definitely going to come in handy. You should go check them out. I actually subscribed to their Patreon 100 years ago, so I have access to all sorts of assets that they make available for Dungeon Draft. So in addition to assets that they make for Dungeon Draft, they also have like full battle maps that you can download. They've got a lot of fun stuff, and as the name suggests, you could pop on there. They have a bunch of free resources that you can grab and throw right into your session for the evening. Like Pirate's Grotto, I've actually used that one a couple times. Anyway, let's get through here so we can actually get into our mapping section. So this video is also not going to be me teaching how to use Dungeon Draft, because I fumble around in here quite a lot, so I'm not exactly the best at it. But that's the other fun thing about this 30-day challenge is it'll give me lots of practice to play around with this. All right, Wizarding School Classroom Pack is probably going to have some stuff that might be useful. Hey, this is the Jickoby theme song. The background music here is being played through artlist.io. It's a service where you can get all sorts of royalty-free music. So go check that out, artlist.io. Nobody who I'm mentioning is sponsoring any of my videos or anything. I think I have an affiliate link for artlist.io in the description box, but otherwise, this is all just stuff that links that I find helpful. So go check them out if it's something that you think is going to be useful to you. You know what? Blood and Bodies map assets. I'm going to add that in because I might use that. Broken Furniture assets, sure. We'll add that one in. So as you can see, I've got a ton of possible assets in here. And the tricky part is going through and kind of picking out the ones that I think are going to help out. Let's see what we have in here. You know what, statue assets. Why not? There might be some statues in our archive. So one of the troubles that I'm having as I'm thinking about this is separating some of the story from the map itself. Because as I'm starting this out, I'm already thinking of where is this going to show up in the adventures that I'm running. Alright, I think those are the assets that I'm going to use. So, what I have here, I have a default template that I've set up, which is 16 inches wide by 11 inches tall. Actually, I'm going to make this 10 inches tall, so that it would print out on 2 letterhead-sized pieces of paper. That should give us plenty of room to play around in here. Alright, let's get started out with... just have some wooden walls and wooden floors. And... you know what, before we do that, I want to check and see a little something here. Why is this not letting me flip into my stuff? Maybe I just have to get something on. Oh, Dungeon Drafts. Why are you not loving me? Is it because we're in a map wizard right now? Yep, that is why. Okay. I didn't realize that I was in a map wizard. And I'm gonna hit finish. There we go. So the map wizard wanted to automatically generate some stuff for me here. Oh, come on. Well, now I'm gonna have to go in and erase all of this stuff. I don't know what happened there. See, this is why this is not, because I had to start with Map Wizard. This is why I'm not here to teach you how to use Dungeon Draft. Because like I said, I just kind of fumbled around in here myself. Alright, so let's go over to our objects, and what I want to look for, I'm going to go into tags, and I'm going to say, well, actually instead of going in there, let's go over here, and say, book. I want to see if there are some curved bookshelves, because if there are, we'll make some curved areas. I don't see any in the assets that I've loaded. What about shelves? There's an outlet bench. But that's not what we're going to use here for now. Okay. I don't see, I didn't load any of the packs that have curved bookshelves. What about desks? Nope. table. Nope. Okay. Well, go back to the book tag here. So it looks like all of these are. So what I was thinking is, if I had loaded in an asset pack with curved bookshelves, then we would create sort of a curved wall at the front of our archive. But I didn't load those in, so that's okay. Let's go to buildings and wooden walls, wooden floors. I still like the idea that we might create. Oh, this is all going to be. That's not what I want. Jeepers creepers. Let's see. That's what I wanted. Cool. So we're going to set endpoints here. And oh, that's editing. That's the one I want. Wow. I guess it's been a little while since I've been playing around in Dungeon Draft. But what I want to create is sort of like a little arched front to our archive. And we'll start with a shape like that. And we're going to go to this portals tool. And we're going to throw some windows across here. Which window assets do I like? It doesn't let me scale these up, does it? Alright. Well, we'll just add a bunch of these windows across here. Looks like Dungeon Draft isn't going to let me add them right next to each other, but that's okay. I'm just going to bunch in here. Oh. Why did it let me do that there, but not on the other side? Let's see. Take that out. Weird. Why is it not letting me add it there? Just because of where... Yep, I think it's just because of how I drew it. Well, okay. I might have to come back in and fix this later because I think my OCD isn't going to let me get away with having an unmatched window layout. Although I guess that is... I guess that's matched well enough. We'll call that good. Alright, let's get some bookshelves in here. So we're going to go up to our object tool. There we go. Let's see. I kind of like that bookshelf. Well, you know what else I want to do? I want to have this be a multi-level archive. So we'll put a couple of bookshelves in over here, and then we have to think about where we might put a stairway. So it would be to a second level. Start with that, and let's see. Actually, I'm going to go clear those out because I'm going to use a different corner bookshelf. Why is this being weird for me? There we go. Okay, shop again. Let's use these guys. Paste. There we go. Here. Back to my objects. Shows. Snapping off on here. You know what else we need to do? We need to make this bigger. That's a little better. Okay, line these up. Boop. Alright, and what I'd like to do is paste this, throw it right there. Grab these, copy paste, here. Things lining up with my grid. All right. We need some desks as well, don't we? All right, desks. I guess this writing desk like this is the one that I want. Put one. On that window. On this window. tables do we like in here? I do kind of like the idea of having maybe a couple tables in here that have scrolls and such. I think I'm going to put that right there. This one over here. The other thing I don't like about it is just the isometric view of those tables. Bugs me a little bit because it doesn't quite match up with what I'm looking for. Okay, table. Actually, that might be kind of fun, is have up here at the front, kind of like a little, like when you go to the library, sort of like a little help desk sort of area. And this is snapping in a weird way. So... That's not going to work the way I thought it was going to work. I would have to flip this. Oh, there we go. There we go. We can flip this. Kind of like that. Okay, now. Line it up. Right about there, I suppose. That's pretty alright. Oh, I said we were going to make some stairs, didn't I? Let's put some stairs in here before we get too far along. What kind of stairs do we want? I think something like that. Sure. On each side. Yeah, why not? Although these oven stairs are kind of cool. I don't know if they match up well with what we've got going on so far. Could this be just a straight stair? At least the same. Something's different about them. Like the coloring's just a little different. Okay. If these stairs match a little bit better with our base wood tones. So, bloop bitty bloop. Put that up there. Put that over here. Oh, we need some doors. How else would we get into our archive? This door seems too small. Make it double doors because it's kind of a grand archive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course, I made an odd number, so clear that out. Place it again. Like that. And like that. Is that right? 1, 2.5, 1, 2.5. Okay. So there is the entrance to our archive. And I'm thinking this is going to be sort of an interior area of a larger building, larger, you know, more rooms and stuff. We'll put a couple more bookshelves over here. And snapping off. So we get this to fit. Right there. This down here. Which I suppose it would make sense if we have a corner bookshelf over here, doesn't it? Make a bit more sense. I think it does. Doop. Just like that. Alright, this is starting to come together. I think we need a couple of other desks in here. What else? I think I'm gonna put a couple more shelves in here. When these are right next to each other, I don't. Well, we're just gonna have to live with that. Something about it just kind of doesn't look right to me. Should be this way. Or should it be just wide open? What do we want to do here? You know what? Let's just add in some tables. But I want it to kind of match the art style. Yeah, again, I like these tables here that have like the scrolls and stuff on them, but I don't think it's going to work out just the way that they're shaped. Doesn't fit what I'm looking for. What? Trough. Why is there a trough in here? A trough in our archive. How about that? We're going to put a couple of these tables across here. And I bet there are some scroll artistic pieces that we could throw on here. Oh, that's kind of cool. So these are, I don't know why they're showing up in my objects, but I guess because I could place it on here if I need to combine it into a battle map. But this is the spell scroll store. I have to say that slowly. All right. Seems like a pretty big scroll. Some books. Oh, those are supposed to be scrolls. Right. Actually, I think what we'll do is second floor of our archive will be scrolls. So let's look for books. Throw a couple of books around here. Put one on this table over here. Put a couple. Not that many. Just a couple of books out here. Lined up here. Things that are on the table over here. statue. That represents some sort of god of learning or archival of some sort. I don't know, that looks kind of nefarious. And this is why it takes me so long to get any runs done. That doesn't look like a good statue to have in our archive. Okay. Let's just pick one and get on with it. I kind of like this bird one. It's kind of cool. Cool statue to have. Actually, you know what? Where put it? There. That's where we're going to put it. Let's see. Are there some other interesting statues and artifacts that we should put in here? There's one that I saw. Was it this one? Alright, I'm getting indecisive and thinking too much about putting stuff in here. Alright, so we'll call that a good first floor. Let's make a second level. Let's see. Now I have to remember how to do that. There we go, level settings. Create. We'll call this second floor. And we're going to clone the ground level just so we have the floor blueprint here. Take out these doors. I'm going to take out these tables. I also kind of like the idea that this is a sort of mezzanine. So I'm going to take out a bunch of these bookshelves. Take out all of this stuff. And let's see if I can open this up. I'm trying to remember how to do that. Shift. It is Alt. One of these should allow me to create a big hole in our floor. Yeah, there we go. And you know what? We're going to make it so that the front side of this is all going to be open. So did I just add Alt? That didn't work the way I wanted it to. Level settings, we're going to delete the second floor if we can. There we go. Okay, create second floor. On the ground. Oh, and the doors. Got to delete these doors. Boop-a-da-boop. How do I think what I'm going to have to do is create a new wall section. So let's see what happens here. I delete that. I delete these? Oh. Delete. There it goes. Okay. That still doesn't get me where I want it to be. So I want to delete that. That's what I want to do. Now I want to go to the walls tool. Go to the wood section. Compare levels so that I can see where. Okay there. Snapping because I want to make sure that my walls are actually lined up here. Okay. Now I'm remembering how to use this. There we go. Oh, beautiful. Now we go back to here, and actually, okay, well. Okay, Alt. What if I go to edit points? Okay, that doesn't do what I want it to do. Why isn't this working for me here? Alt. Oh, because I wasn't holding down my I don't know why I wasn't. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Now we have an upper mezzanine area. And this is where I want some of our spells, or our scroll storage to be. I also want to change the way that these stairs appear. I think what I can do is go here. I can't lower them any farther, can I? If that's what I need to do. What I want to do here is kind of like that, but I'm going to get rid of all that. Wall tool here. Go boop, boop, boop. Yeah, that'll work. Boop, boop. Oops, that's not what I want. That is the opposite of what I want. While I'm here, send that below the ground. Wall tool, edit points. That. Just delete all of that. Okay, go back to here. Go doop, doop, doop. Right? Yes, that's what we want. Okay. And now, building tool, shapes, hold down our Alt key, and I did it again. That's okay. Here and delete that. Okay, now I can go to here in my wall tool, select this, and trace around here. Voila. Alright, so now that we've got this idea, we'll put some bookshelves and things across this back wall. That's what we'll do. Snapping again for this guy. All right, scroll shells. Still kind of think I am more inclined to just put, like, instead of a scroll shelf itself, well, I don't know. There's not enough variance in our scroll shelves, so how do we want to fudge this? To the edge. Up. One more. There we go. One over here. And we need some tables. having some scrolls and things that might be laid out on some of these places. There's gotta be more scroll assets somewhere in. I don't want it to be too disheveled. Alright, well, what about desks? Put a couple desks up here. And I think we're going to call it good enough because I've already spent so much time trying to put this little baby together. Oh, we need windows across the front of this again. Portal tool, that's what I was looking for. And was that the window that we had? Harmful? I think so. Of course, because I have snapping turned off. That's why it let me put it over there. I'm curious if I keep snapping on. Does it let me put the windows right next to each other again? I don't think it does. Alright. Keep snapping on for should keep snapping on for the first one. Let's see. Here's what I'm going to do. Delete those. Snapping is currently on. Go to my window. replace that. Now I'm going to turn snapping off. Place each of these windows right next to each other. Just like that. And then I have to go down and edit the same on the ground floor. Alright. Head down to the ground floor. Boop. Oh. Those are different windows. Alright, that's fine. Just to match, we will delete these windows and we will put in some of these windows right here. Boop. There. There. And now we turn snapping off so that these can go right next to each other. There. I think that works. That works. I do want to see, I feel like, can I use keywords in here and look for books? Yeah, it's got all of those are already checked on. Man, I feel like there was an asset pack. Oh, I ran out of songs on my playlist. We're gonna have to start this over again. Alright, I feel like there was an asset pack that had a bunch of like book scatters and stuff. Oh, here we go. What else we need in here? We need some rugs. Why does that look like a pizza? Alright, let's see. Put in a couple of rugs like this. Maybe across here. There. We'll put a round rug at the front. So we got a dampen the noise in our archive. That's so small. Rug. But now I hate that it doesn't match the tone of the other rugs up here. So these guys leave. Goodbye. There, that works. We'll just send these back a couple layers. There we go. Because without these, it's going to be too much echo in our archive. All right. Back up here. We'll put a couple rugs in up here too. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to have to go in and edit the ground out of here. And have this so you can kind of overlook the area below. But there we go. That's my archive. So I'm going to do a couple of little touch-ups on here, and I'll post it over on the Role-Playing Tips Discord channel, and we'll call that pretty good for now. Alright. think we only had maybe 1 or 2 people pop in during the live stream here, but if you're watching this on replay, enjoy. I'll probably do a recap once I get a couple of these maps created, so that it's not such a long, rambly video stream. And if you're rewatching this, until we meet again, roll well, my friends.